All right. I'm just like super stoked. There's like so much stuff going on in just MOBAs in general.
Yeah. Good, exciting stuff all around.
Including Dota.
That's what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're just going to do. So,
oh, man.
So I was off yesterday.
Oh, man.
But I looked away from my phone for a little bit and then came back to Twitter, and it was bonkers. There were just like patch notes dropped.
6.82 came out.
Yeah, tell me about 6.82.
6.82 is
it's on the test realm, right? Or not test realm.
It's only on the test server right now. It's not live yet, at least as of the time of recording.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest update I've seen since I started playing Dota a year and a half or so ago. It's after TI4, I think Valve sort of recognized that this push heavy meta is like dominating the scene. You know, games were getting over very quickly. You know, if you took one tower and your team was deathballing, you'd probably take 2 towers.
Yeah.
They've done so many things to kind of slow that and kind of, it seems like, make games longer again.
Yeah.
They changed, let's just start with that. Like, towers give less gold when you kill them. After you lose a tier 1 tower, your fortification glyph that protects them makes them invincible.
Refreshes. Which is, that's like, well, okay, I was going to say it's one of the biggest, it is one of the biggest changes, but it's like, it's an incredible change where it's just like, that changes the flow of the game. Like, you can't just like ultra push anymore and like finish games in 15 minutes.
Yep. A couple of like the hardest pushers like Death Prophet and Shaman had their ults cooldowns increased. Just like a little thing there.
Two new runes.
There are new runes.
Yeah, there are one new rune.
One new rune.
Yeah, but they spawn at the same time.
Right. Every 2 minutes, every even minute. A rune spawns on one part of the river, and now both spots will have a rune. One will be the normal like power up thing, and one will be this bounty rune.
Yeah.
Which gives you gold and experience based on how long the game has been going on. Which that changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Actually. First of all, you'll never guess a rune spot and not get something for it anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're like a roaming support, now you're not going to lose as much experience when you're looking for ganks.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you can roam around and you can pick up that golden experience. You can now like say take the bounty rune where your mid would take the power up one, and like if you're a support with a bottle, you could like capture that rune and like heal your lane carry with that bottle.
Oh my God. And even thinking about junglers, like no matter what, like rune control is like now the name of the game in terms of like every 2 minutes you have something to do. Like you need to go control that.
Yep, it's like mid. You probably won't get both of them unless the other mid player is bad.
Yeah,
like a support needs to pick it up.
Think about Fire. What's his name?
Fire Bro. Ember
Spirit. Yes. Think about using his remnants to just warp from one to the other.
I guess you could if you set it up. Early enough. Yeah. You could just pop back and forth and grab them both. One of the biggest changes, and I've never seen in Dota, is they changed the terrain of the map.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest change.
That's the biggest change. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Go ahead.
The Roshan pit, the big monster who gives you the Aegis, his pit was sort of like right next to the stairs that led up to the Dire Tier 1, and now it's sort of shifted over to where the Dire Ancients are.
Yeah. And then they shifted the Dire Ancients over to basically closer to the mid-tier 1.
Mid-tier 1.
And there's a new path.
There are new paths all over the place, kind of.
Yeah.
Like mostly on the Dire side, but there are a few on the Radiant side by the Radiant Secret Shop.
Yeah, it kind of mirrors it in terms of okay, there's not going to be a Roshan on top side going into Radiant, but like there's still a path that goes back, like towards the secret shop, so like you have better access to the secret shop from top lane now,
which is nice. I think the offlaner in Dire generally had a better time because the secret shop is right there and you can stack ancients easily.
Yeah, like
now if you want to stack ancients on Dire side offlane,
you have to abandon
solo, you have to leave the lane.
Yeah,
that's gonna mess with Tidehunter a lot because Tidehunter stacked ancients and then Anchor smashed them down.
Yeah,
and got his blink dagger. Doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that's gonna. I think we're gonna like. I love Tide, but I think he's just gonna fall by the wayside again.
I think he might,
just because it's.
I mean, Ravage is always good,
but it got nerfed, and so did Refresher. Refresher got nerfed, so it's like he's just not a super great like offlane.
Yeah, he's not. It's not like offlane Tide makes a bunch of sense anymore. Yeah. There's tons of balance updates to heroes, but some of the biggest ones are Void just got knocked back all around. He got nerfed.
Yeah.
His chrono is shorter duration. It's smaller radius. It doesn't disable passives, so he's not going to kill a TA or a PA for free anymore.
Yeah.
So that happened, which sucks because I played Void kind of before he got popular, and I was like, yeah, this dude's awesome, and now he's.
Yep.
shutdown.
New item.
We can talk about that. Yeah. So there was an item called Vanguard that was super situational.
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 5 heroes that I would ever realistically buy it on. And it would become sort of a crappy item by 15 minutes. And then you're like, well, okay, what do? It doesn't disassemble. I'll sell it. Now that upgrades into the Crimson Guard, which is awesome because that was in the winter like wave defense mode.
Yeah.
And it's neat. It's just an upgrade from Vanguard that gives you, more stats, gives you an active that gives your team armor and some damage block.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to try it because I didn't go in the test server or anything, but I'm excited.
Yeah, and so like there's crazy stuff like they reworked Bloodseeker's one of his abilities.
Bloodseeker and Phantom Lancer both have 2 abilities.
Okay, 2.
Totally replaced.
Yeah.
That change how the heroes are going to play, and for now they're out of Captain's mode.
Yes. But they added
Legion,
and
Terrorblade.
Also, I think the craziest hero change in terms of giving the Aghanim's effect onto Phoenix, which refreshes all your abilities, which is just going to be
except for your ult.
Except for your ult, yeah. All your standard abilities. But what that means is people were doing interactions last night where it's just so what happens is Phoenix triggers her ult, or its ult.
It is now not gendered.
It's non-gendered. It's just an it. And it does the thing where it drops and then it stuns and everything.
Yeah. If it takes a certain number of hits while it's becoming reborn, it dies.
Yes. And you get full health. But now you can either click on people or have people click on you as you're doing it, and it will bring them inside and refresh all their abilities and I think give them full health. Which, there are 2 things I think that go along with that. One, you can troll the crap out of people. By just be
in pubs.
In pubs.
Someone in.
Yeah, and you're gonna die. And they're running away. You're like, oh no.
Yep. It's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be the worst. But also just the interactions with refreshing I don't know. Terrorblade's where he goes into his ranged form basically, which is not his ultimate.
I think that's the longest cooldown ability in the game that is not an ultimate.
Yeah.
It's 140 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. So
and now it's refresh it.
Or there's just so many small things that you're just well, okay, that could just turn change the tide of the team fight.
I mean, we could go on this forever, but another massive change is Tinker's machines no longer affect ancients.
Yes, Tinker was so strong.
I started playing Tinker very recently and trying to figure out the ancient stack and jungle stacks and stuff, and now it's well, he's still good. It's just if you fell behind, you could stack ancients and catch up really quickly.
Yeah,
now you cannot do that. It's probably needed as much as it's fun playing a powerful hero. He got picked all the time, and he slowed games down a lot.
Yeah, because he would just bounce all over. It was so annoying to play against. It was just it's a righteous nerf.
Yeah.
They remade Shadow Fiend, I guess. They made
Shadow Fiend is sort of the poster boy of the whole update. He used to look sort of like a melted brown glass bottle.
Yeah.
Left in a fire. I don't know. He looked weird. Now he looks super cool.
He looks sort of like Ragnaros, or at least his Arcana set does.
Yeah, with the flames.
Yeah,
he has an Arcana set that's the $35 huge set. It actually looks really good. Some of them I don't like the Techies Arcana, but yeah, it looks good. It gives you custom animations, custom taunts, your portrait, all that stuff changes.
How did they rework Phantom Lancer? Because I didn't actually I read it, I just didn't.
It's super weird. It's Juxtapose is now his ultimate, and then he has a skill that helps him dodge projectiles, and that shuffles his position with his illusions.
So basically, he's basically more of a deceiver, even more of a deceiver than he was at.
I think so, but the make copies thing is the ult now. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it used to be. I think Juxtaposed. Yeah, because the ult used to upgrade his ability to make copies.
Yeah.
And now it's switched.
Let's see. Okay.
Are we diving deep? Are we doing
Yeah, let's look at it. Okay. Spirit Lance is unchanged.
Right.
Phantom Rush, a passive ability for Phantom Lancer or his illusions to quickly close the distance to an enemy. Triggers when issuing attack order on an enemy unit outside of attack range. Grants passive bonus movement speed and phase until Phantom Lancer strikes the target. Doesn't really tell me how it works in terms of I'm assuming you'll click on stuff and then it will send an illusion.
It's not live, so I wanna test it. But there's also one that makes copies And like some copies take 100% damage, so they just look like normal heroes. And there's some that take like 600% damage.
Yeah, so this is a doppelganger, a new ability for dodging immediate danger and confusing enemies with deceiving illusions. So I'm assuming this is like where you can use this to like disjoint like auto attacks or like large spells like snipers.
Yeah, because some spells are not disjointable.
Yeah,
and some are. But I wonder if this just kind of is like, hey, I'll disjoint this no matter what happens.
Target an area, Phantom Lancer, and all nearby illusions will disappear for 1 second. Then have their position shuffled into a target area. This also creates 2 illusions of opposite types. Illusion 1 deals 0% damage and takes 100% damage. Illusion 2 takes 20% damage deals 20% damage and takes 600% damage.
Yep.
So that's strange and
it's
weird.
Super weird. They're just weird. A lot of Ags effects were added.
Yep.
Which makes me happy. Just a few, because again, we could go on this forever. Treant Protector can now turn trees into wards, like vision giving wards.
What?
Yep. If he gets an Ags on his ult. And then
that's like the craziest like support, like that's almost how I would want like people who are learning to play MOBAs to play MOBAs, and it's like, hey, you're gonna play a hero that is literally vision control. Like that's like your job is to create vision. Yep. Like if you want to teach someone that concept, like play this hero, make sure they get farmed enough to get that item, and they're like, okay, just go and give me vision.
Yeah, it's unobstructed vision too. And then when he uses his overgrowth pass, his ult that like traps people and keeps them from like blinking and stuff. Now any tree that is a ward will also have a mini version of overgrowth sprout from it that does damage over time, like a lot. Like it ends up doing like 500 or 600 damage over time. It's super strange.
Oh god, I love this patch so much.
Me too.
So they also changed the way that damage works. They took out composite damage.
Yep, and I think there was even one other kind.
Yeah,
but now it's just like physical, magical, and pure.
Yeah, which
is nice because Dota had a really bad habit of not telling you what kind of damage things do and like what blocks what.
Yes.
And now every attack, it's like, is this like countered by spell immunity? What kind of damage is it?
And
Thank you.
And they even like color coded it.
Yep.
Which is actually something that League does, where it's like there's AP and AD, and there's the only two. I think there's pure as well, but like it was color coded. Like AP is like this greenish color, and like AD is this orangish color, and so you know exactly like, okay, well this guy's I'm getting wrecked with this dude who's doing AP damage, so I'm just gonna build magic resist.
It was too complicated. It literally did not tell you the info you needed in the game. You had to go to a wiki or something, and now that's different. So
yeah, and it just simplifies like they had to make some changes to some characters because of like HP removal and stuff like that. So they made it like they changed some people's actual like abilities to be like, okay, well,
HP removal isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know, because Bane's brain sap is not HP removal anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, his Ags effect, whenever anyone attacks him when he's ulting, they get the nightmare skill put on them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's so many good Ags.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy.
When Sven activates his ult with Ags.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I saw it, but tell the audience.
All of his allies in a radius get like 80% of his base strength is bonus damage. So if you have like a bunch of right clickers on your team, Sven is already like enough right click as long as he has BKB, and then your whole team is now just right clicking for. If it's late game, Sven can easily have a few hundred strength. And if they're doing
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like I'm so excited. Like, I'm sad Mitch isn't here because he would be freaking out about these Sven buffs because he loves Sven. Like it's one of his favorite characters. And it's the hey, I'm gonna run up to you and stun you, and then I'm just gonna hit you a lot.
Yep. This massive update. This is huge.
Yeah. What else? BKB. This is gonna be super crazy for like games that go like so like now we're getting into a meta like hopefully maybe not hopefully I don't know whether I'll like longer games or not, but it's gonna get to late game games again. You can no longer get additional BKBs and so like when your BKB gets down to like your 4 second, you can't sell it.
Right.
I think you can put it in your stash.
But the duration, the ticking down duration is tied to your hero and not to the item.
Yeah.
And so what you'll see in pro games a lot of times that go late is they'll get 6 slotted, and then for the very last thing, they'll save buyback and they'll refresh their BKB.
Yeah.
So then they have a huge 10-second charge to go into the last fight.
Yeah.
And you can't do that anymore. And that's a huge, huge change.
Yeah, and it kind of like changes the way that the team fights will go now because like it almost seems like a nerf to like super late game stuff, but like in terms of like the game's taking too long, but it's actually like that means like it's trying to balance out, like they don't want stuff to go super long, or the Icebox doesn't want stuff to go super long, but it also doesn't want it to go super short.
Right. This is what I'm trying to figure out, because like the whole like nerf to Tower Gold and the buff to the glyphs seems like sort of an indirect buff to like late game heroes.
Yeah.
But then late game supports tend to kind of like, they can still help through utility items and skills, and BKB is what stops carries from being affected by that. But now that's getting nerfed.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, okay, the games will go longer, but like they'll also be super vulnerable. In the end. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm fascinated. There's some gold and XP changes in terms of
like assist kills and stopping streaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they're like, I'm not even going into it because like
there's a lot of math.
There's a lot of math involved, and like I haven't had time to like actually dig in and understand it quite yet. Again, there's plenty about Dota I don't understand. Never claim to be an expert, but there's just some like Crispy, one of our friends, was saying on Twitter the other day that if you get one deny, I think this is right, on the first wave, you will no longer hit level 2. So if you get denied one creep from the first wave mid, then you will no longer get
right, because the 9 creeps now give less experience.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna wrap this up, one last little
No,
thing.
we don't have to wrap it up.
We're good?
We're only at like 25 minutes. We're
okay.
fine.
One very great tiny little thing Dota players will love. If you alt-click on the clock, it will print a copy of the time of the clock in your chat. So normally when you kill Roshan, you type in what time it is, and then so you know when the Aegis is back. Oh. But people always forget it, and it's sort of like a joke. Oh, we should have checked time. Now it's you just all click the clock. It sounds small, but like I'm gonna do that all the time.
Yeah. Some super dumb things I love. There's some new chat wheel options, including good game well played. What should I buy? I'm retreating. Space created.
Space created is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, space created.
That's gonna get overused.
Whoops. Whoops is definitely getting on.
Good.
Destroy the tower, then get back. Destroy the barracks, then get back, which are also incredible. It's like, because you can just be like, okay, like rather than saying like, get back, just be like, well, let's finish this, then get back.
And then get out. Oh, are you gonna read the last one?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the last one. Do you want to read it yourself?
No, you go for it.
No. Ward the bottom room, ward the top room. That's so good.
That's really good.
And then Zeus ult now. Which is even I'm just gonna have that on my bar, even if Zeus is in the game, because
just if the hero's low and running away.
Yeah,
Zeus ult now. I mean, it could sort of work for like Nature's Prophet ult or like Spectre ult.
Yeah,
in
sure.
a way.
Yeah.
What
else? There's so much good stuff. Hold on, I'm in the damage.
There are now new ward spots. Did you see those?
I did not.
Yeah, like up by like where you would enter Dire's bottom tier 3. Before you go high ground. That little spot that you would like juke by the secret shop. There's like one of those rocks there with the eye on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's like a new spot there that'll give you a ton of vision, because that's what those rocks do. And there's one on Radiant side too. So that's cool.
That's great. Yeah, again, war game is strong. I'm happy that they're like introducing more. But it's like, hey, just ward more. Like vision control is so important, and I think people forget that a lot. That like, and just introducing more places to be like, hey, put a ward here. Please put a ward here. Yeah. And making that very, very obvious. 10 portal scrolls are now 100, which is the best. I was always waiting for like the extra 35 gold. I'd be at like 100, and I'd be like, crap! I gotta walk back to lane, and like I don't have enough for a TP.
It was very rarely like I don't know. It wasn't like I urgently need a town portal scroll right now. It was sort of like, I'll just kind of wait in the fountain for 20 seconds until I catch up. And like, that's not fun. So I think that tweak is going to be perfect. Those should be a lot cheaper. So
yeah.
Awesome.
What else? God, there's so much. I don't know. Like Ricky got changed in terms of,
Ricky is super weird now.
Yeah. Talking to Crispy, he got nerfed hard in terms of like, cause his fade is now like 8 seconds
at level 1. His invis is now a regular skill and not his ult.
Yeah, that's like a buff, but like, but his like last hitting ability now is just not great.
Yep.
Like it's not gonna be fun to lane as.
It's weird because Ricky, I don't know. Usually balances are sort of patched around like pro play a lot.
This seems like a pub nerf.
Yeah, but like even like the sort of marquee heroes of 6.82 when they teased it, it was like there was Roshan and then it was like PL and Bloodseeker. Like PL and Bloodseeker don't get a lot of pro play, and neither does Ricky. Like I don't know, just kind of strange.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Let's see. I don't even know. Like Lycan got a huge nerf.
Yep.
Like his shapeshift no longer grants 1.5 base attack time. The change shapeshift cooldown got increased. About 20 seconds.
When he pops his ult, he goes above maximum movement speed. He now goes to 650.
Shapeshift speed increased from 522 to 650.
Yeah, 522 is the max normally, so
that's gonna be nuts.
He's gonna be so fast.
He's like, hey, see you later.
One change that's actually really huge. Courier speed. Courier
Right.
speed is now, I think, about 100 higher than it was base speed.
Really?
Maybe like 90 or something. It's much higher
Not for
flying.
For flying.
Not for walking.
No, not for walking. Okay. They also changed the like the speed boost.
Yeah, the speed boost was sort of like a thing where you just like, hey, when you're getting an item delivered, you just click speed boost and it'll get there faster. And the cooldown was like reasonable. It was something like 40 seconds and lasted a while or whatever.
Yeah.
But now the cooldown is like 90 seconds and the boost is only a few seconds.
Yeah.
But it's much faster.
Yeah, and we Mitch always when we play would always be like, use the boost, use the boost, use the boost. Now it's like you only should be using the boost when like I would say your carry got an item and like they need the item now and like you need it in very specific instances rather than just always just spam it.
Yeah, I thought, hey, maybe this would like kind of slow things down because the cooldown's so long, but like the normal speed buff of about 100 is massive.
Yeah,
he's gonna be flying around the map. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Husker got some changes. I don't know whether they're buff or nerf. It's gonna be. I'll actually have to.
Some of the
him.
changes are sort of like number tweaks, and you're like, okay, whatever. But some of them are just like these characters have new abilities.
Yes, yeah. Dual breath got nerfed on Jakiro.
Yep.
Oh, Earth Spirit.
Oh yeah.
You can turn heroes into remnants or not remnants. What are they called?
Stone remnants.
Yeah, stone remnants.
Yep. That's weird.
Can you turn allied heroes or is this?
I don't know. It just says heroes, which normally means any targetable hero.
This is gonna be real dumb, because that means you could turn an enemy in and pull them in, or like I don't know.
He never gets any play, but
like send. I don't know, like Sand King.
Yeah.
And just send him in there, and then he can just do his ult.
Oh, you could just kick him in.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what it's going to be used for, but like someone will do something cool, and then everyone will be like, oh.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what heroes become popular. Like Earth or Elder Titan's ult with his eggs now is crazy. Instead of just doing like a bunch of damage, it now like disarms and silences for 6 seconds. Like that's
causes units that are pulled in by added Aghanims. Causes units that are pulled in by Earth Splitter to be disarmed in addition to being slowed. Slow and disarm duration increased from some numbers. Doesn't really matter.
Up to 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, it's really long. There's also some weird stuff where it's Darkseer's vacuum cooldown rescaled from 28.0 seconds to 28 seconds.
Yeah. Did you put your text over it? Or your mouse over the text?
No.
And click it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great.
It does the like...
It's like that's pretty great. Chen got some crazy like... He can control agents now.
Yeah, he can now control an agent.
That's real dumb. They're really slow.
Agents are super slow, but like early on, their right click is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like the Black Dragons or whatever they're called. Those guys do a lot of damage to early heroes.
Yeah, and then if you use what's it called? Hand of God, you can like give them max mana or max HP again.
Yep.
That's real dumb. Like, and you can control up to 3 ancients. It's like it's gonna be.
Chen is too hard for people to play, so you never see him in pubs.
Yeah.
But in pro,
it's gonna be great.
Like Puppy is a great Chen. Like they're like Ake on Alliance. Is he still on Alliance?
I'm not
After
sure.
all the roster shifts. Anyway, Ake is a great Chen.
I think my favorite thing that came out of this last night was another one of our friends who loves to play Lich, and he was talking about having someone play Chen and then getting the rock golems and then throwing the ult between the rock golems and just walking that towards the enemy, which like, okay,
yeah,
that could work.
I mean,
that would also require both of them to have Aghanims
it can work
and to be super farmed.
Like I hope he gets that.
Yeah,
I hope that happens for him. But that's the most silly situational.
I want to do it
thing.
just to do it, but I don't know what, like, it's so out there in terms of a strat.
It's the cheesiest thing.
Like, it'd be really cool, honestly, rather than like walking it towards someone. I think if you like left it on like high ground, so like you say you left it, say you're on Dire, you're Radiant, and you're going into Dire, and you're sitting at the top of the stairs for that secret shop. Like right as you're coming up, you could just leave them at the top of there. So someone just walks up onto high ground, they just get bounced right into Lich's ult.
Right.
That'd be sort of fun.
Yeah. Just real quick, if you don't get what's going on, these ancients, and there's certain kind of ancients that
are magic immune.
They're magic immune, but you can cast Lich's ult on them, which is the frost orb that bounces and hits things. And so if you cast it on them, it just bounces indefinitely because they're not getting hurt.
Yeah.
As long as you have Lich's Scepter.
Yeah, you have to have Aghanim Scepter on
and
Lich.
So theoretically, if you have an enemy hero in the middle of all of them,
it just ricochets back
to just keep bouncing forever.
Yeah. It's gonna be super dumb.
So dumb.
Like again, like Lich is also like easy to counter in terms of you just kind of walk away from each other. Like it does a bunch of damage, but like you can see it's slow moving. You can see it coming, and you just kind of just walk away.
Yeah.
And eventually, but if you can surprise people, that's pretty great.
Yep.
Broodmother got a bunch of nerfs.
Broodmother's weird.
Yeah.
She's still not in captains.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think they quite know what to do with her yet. We'll see. Like again, like. I think that they're just trying stuff out with her because they're like, maybe this will work. I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm excited for this bounty hunter. Your Shuriken Toss now bounces to all tracked units within 900 range.
Yeah, you can get track up on a lot of people at once. It has a really low cooldown. So
like during team fights, like he'll actually have some nice like kind of AOE damage if he
a little crowd control too. It's a mini stun.
Yeah, and so like it will be like great just in terms of like. If he's doing his job right, he can track a bunch of people and then just toss it in there and get some mini stuns.
Yep.
Oh man, we could go on forever.
I know. I just want this to come out so I can see what's happened with all of my favorite heroes.
Yeah.
Medusa got some buffs, not huge buffs, just some nice buffs to like mana shield and stuff. So I like that a lot because she's a silly hero, but I like her still.
Yeah.
So.